Hi guys, my name's Anthony and I'm from London. So my talk today is going to be a bit about positive mental thinking and how you are capable of achieving your own full potential. How to stop others from putting you down or listening to other people's opinions and stopping you or getting in your way of achieving your own full potential. So, a little bit about me and my life story. I was just your happy, average, sporty, active child until around about the age of 6 when I started getting very bad headaches. And I used to go to the doctors to find out what was wrong, but the doctors just sent me back to school with just some paracetamol. And then my headaches started getting worse and worse and worse, but the doctors still couldn't work out what was wrong. So they just sent me more paracetamol on you go kind of thing, until it got worse enough that everything that I started to eat, my body was rejecting and throwing up. So the doctors still didn't know what was wrong, sent me on my way. So my parents decided to see a doctor privately, and obviously they have more equipment available. And within the next 24 hours I was having a brain scan, and they found that at the age of 6 I was diagnosed with a brain tumour, which immediately had to be booked in to be removed at the hospital. When I went in for the operation to remove the brain tumour, during the operation I suffered a stroke, losing the use of my left side. So I lost the use of my left arm and the use of my left leg. And I had to be wheelchair bound for the next 2 years after that. So I went from being a very active, happy, sporty child to the total opposite. So you can imagine lying in hospital bed, confused, angry, didn't know what was going on, totally devastated. Just wanted to be back to my normal self again, but that wasn't going to happen. I had to relearn how to walk and relearn how to live life just using one hand, or to the best way I could. So after many months of intense physio and of adapting to this new way of life, I was eventually allowed to go back to school. I was really happy about this because I was going to see my friends again, I was going to go back to class, have fun, and go back to normality, go back to my normal life again. But as we all know, that had all changed. It would not go back to normality. So I went back to school. Obviously, I wasn't able to keep up with everyone else. I wasn't able to keep up with my friends. So I kind of got left out of it. They tried their best to include me in everything they did, but it wasn't the same as for me. I couldn't keep up the same as I always did. And I vividly remember at lunchtime and break times, I wasn't allowed out in the playground because they were worried I might fall or hit my head. So I had to sit by the window and watch all the kids running around, playing football, having fun. And I just remember thinking, if this hadn't happened to me, I'd be out there playing with them right now. I'd be scoring goals, running around, having fun. And I began to think, I wish I'd never survived that operation. I began to hate myself, resent myself, and I was thinking I'm better off not here. I wish I'd never survived. And that's not how a 6-year-old child should be thinking. So probably throughout my whole kind of school life, I never really fitted in. The whole of primary school, I was the only disabled person. So I was always very embarrassed, always tried to hide my disability, just tried to fit in like normal. In secondary school, again, even bigger school, but I was the only physically disabled person in the whole school. So I was always trying to hide my disability. I was wearing long sleeve jumpers, long sleeve blazers, and just do my best just to kind of fit in. I never really started getting into sport until I was about 16. I started playing football for Tottenham's disability team, and all my mates thought it was pretty cool that I got to play for Spurs. So we got to train at the Spurs training ground, got to meet all the players all the time. But that was great. Then one of the football coaches said to me, "You're pretty quick, have you ever thought about running?" I was like, running? Definitely not. Doctors told me as a kid I'd probably never walk again. I'm just about playing football at the moment. Running? Definitely not. A few months after that, I was doing a fitness test at one of my PE lessons, and the fitness test was how many laps can you do of a football pitch in 12 minutes. So I thought, let's give it a go. Probably die halfway around, but we'll give it a go. The main thought I had in my head was, I can't let the overweight, lazy kids beat me. I just can't let them beat me. So I set out just to keep going. And gradually I started overtaking people, and I was like, I feel good, I can keep pushing. So I just kept pushing. One by one, I was trying to overtake people. And out of a class of 30, I actually finished 11th or 12th. I think I managed 8 laps or something like that. That was pretty impressive for me. My PE teacher actually came up to me afterwards and was like, you need to get yourself into a running club. Have you ever heard of the Paralympics? I was like, yeah, I've heard of it, but that's definitely something I do not want to do. Why would I want to do something that promotes my disability? I'm trying to hide it. I do not want to go out there and be like, I'm an athlete with disability. Look at me. I did not want to do that at all. So she was like, I need to speak to your parents. So she went up to my parents. She's like, get that boy in a running club. So my parents were pretty shocked. They were like, that would be great for him. Yeah, why don't give that a try? It's something we'd never thought of before. My mum found me a running club, went along, started doing lots of training. I was behind everyone at the time, but the coach was very, very supportive. Coach Kathy, she really helped me through everything. Gradually I started catching people up, getting fitter and fitter and stronger, and I started to really enjoy it. I enjoyed the feeling of feeling stronger and fitter and faster. So I trained twice a week, and I trained with able-bodied athletes. And then I thought, so how can I get better at this? So I joined a gym, and then I started training twice a day. So gym, track. Going in the gym, smashing the weights. Next day I'd be back on the track. And I was getting stronger and stronger and fitter. And I just kept pushing myself to get faster and faster. I then went to my first athletics race in Blackpool. That was for the Nationals. I actually won 2 gold medals in the 100 metres and the long jump, and this kind of really made me feel good about myself, and it really opened my world, because it was other athletes with disabilities, so everyone there was in the same boat as me. They'd been through hard times and everyone was pushing to achieve. It was great because everyone was supporting each other, no one looked at each other funny. It was a great time, so I thought I need to do more of this. And then I started taking my training more seriously, training more, and I was getting faster and faster, knocking the time off. So then my coach said to me, why don't we try maybe longer distance, because my sprint start wasn't as quick as the others, but my overall speed was very, very good. So I thought, just about struggling to do 200 metres. How am I going to do 800 metres or 1500 metres? She said to me, give it a try. You never know unless you try it. So I thought, I'll give it a try, and it absolutely nearly killed me. It was tough. I was aching like mad, out of breath. I remember my first session, we had to do like 400 metres with a few minutes rest in between. And I remember even the 10-year-olds were overtaking me. It was like, God. But I thought, I'll keep it going and see where it goes, see what happens. And gradually, after a few months, I started getting faster and faster. My times were getting a little bit better, bit by bit. Just kept going at it. Gradually, I was starting to catch the main group up. These were able-bodied runners. I was catching them up. I was staying on the back of them, more training. Then I started getting to the front of the group. These girls were running good times in big competition, able-bodied competitions. And I was starting to keep up with them. Around about 2015, I got selected to represent England in the CP World Games held in Nottingham, I think it was, yeah. So I was put in for the 800 metres and the 1500 metres, and I managed to reach the final. And I won 2 gold medals in the 800 metres and 1500 metres, and I was world champion. Now that was my biggest achievement to yet. So me achieving all those achievements are a big thanks to the people that told me, yes you can. It started with the PE teacher in the lesson telling me, you should be running, you should be doing this, yes you can. To my coach, Coach Kathy, telling me you can do the training sessions, you can train with the able-bodied athletes, you can do the longer distances. So a big thank you to my aunt, who is a physio. She was the one who actually saw my potential and gave me that push that I needed to find a coach and actually start training and competing. Your success starts with the support of your own family. That is your main support base, and you can build on top of that. Opposed to those that told me, the doctor telling me I'll probably never walk again. My primary school report said, Auntie is not very active, he probably won't be very active, probably won't be able to run or climb. Even my PE teacher at primary school said, you won't be able to go in goal because you can only use one hand. But if I'd listened to them, I wouldn't have done anything really. You have to listen to the people that say, yes, you can. You need to have the right kind of group of people around you. And if you give it a go, then you can achieve anything. Important quote, I think, is if someone tells you you can't, go out there and prove them wrong. As I got older, I started to think, how else can I push myself further? I've done what I didn't think was possible. Now can I go to another level? And I was looking online for things, and then I come across a 5k race. So I thought, that's gonna be hard, but I'll give it a go. So I entered the 5k race. Again, I was the only physically disabled runner in the race, but I gave it a go. It was tough, but I did it in 30 minutes, which is not bad at all. And I thought, I'll give it some more training. I got a different coach who was more kind of specialised in longer distance running. It was more one-on-one training, and he pushed me to my limits. And then I managed to knock off a lot of time. That 30 minutes went down, so my personal best now is 23 minutes. So that's a big difference. So if you push yourself to achieve, you can achieve it. It's all about pushing past those pain barriers, those resistance barriers that stop you. So then I thought, can I go further? So then I thought, I'll enter a 10k race. So I entered a 10k race, and that was hardcore. That was tough. Into 7k into the race, so I needed to give up. My body was dragging along the ground. My right side was trying to pull me across like that. As someone went past, they went to me, wow, so inspiring. Keep going. And they just went to me, wow, people actually find me inspiring. And I kind of picked myself up, pulled myself across, managed to get to the finish line. That kind of gave me that fire to push on. I actually finished it in 56 minutes, which is alright. I said to myself, if I can do that, and with not much training on a longer distance, give us some training, run some real good times. So I went back to my coach and said, I want to knock some more time off, I want to get faster and do some more runs. So we worked on it, and now my PB today is 48 minutes. That's a big difference, nearly 10 minutes. And last year I ran in the Adidas 10k series. Out of 8,000 people, I was the only physically disabled runner in that race, and I finished in the top 50% of runners, top 1,000 or something like that, which was a big achievement. Lots and lots of people said to me, wow, you inspired me to keep going, wow. And it just made me think, if I can do it, then anyone can do it. You just have to tell yourself you can do it. Positive thinking. You can push through. Your body is more capable than you could ever believe. It's the mind that restricts you and holds you back. And with that thinking, the world is your oyster. For once in my life, I was starting to think, I'm not ashamed of being who I am. I'm not embarrassed of being who I am. Yes, I'm a runner with a disability, but if I can do it, then anyone can do it. I can inspire others to do the same. So it changed my thinking completely. Don't be ashamed of who you are and hide away. You are you, and the ones who achieve are the ones that are themselves. Everyone in the world, if they're all the same and they just blend in, they won't stand out. The ones who stand out are the ones who are successful. Think of people like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Massively stands out. Very different from the others and hugely successful. If successful people listen to all the negative comments that they got throughout their lives, then they would never have achieved what they have. People like John Terry was let go from his first football team because they said he wasn't tall enough or good enough to be a defender. Now look where he is. Walt Disney, they said his cartoons would never amount to anything. Look where he is. Einstein said his ideas were crazy and stupid. Biggest inventor in the world. J.K. Rowling was told her stories would never amount to anything. Now she's the biggest story in the world. Roger Bannister was told it was impossible to run a 4-minute mile. Smashed it. Kipchoge was told it is impossible to run a 2-hour marathon. Smashed it. My message to you is, don't listen to those negative comments. You can't do this, you can't do that, because it's in your mind. It's down to you. You're in charge of you and your own potential. You need to succeed and feel your full potential. So guys, thank you for tuning in and watching, and thank you for supporting me over the years. It means a lot to me. So I'm going to continue part 2 next week. So make sure you subscribe and tune in for next week for part 2.